Jah Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jah Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jah Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jah Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jah Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jah Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jah Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank Online, and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Our next guest is the government spokesperson. He's the voice of government, Ibrahim G. Sankareh. He serves as the official spokesperson, the man tasked with explaining policy decisions and responding to public concerns. But his portfolio goes beyond communication. He also doubles as a presidential advisor on diaspora affairs, a role that connects Gambians abroad with State House. It's a chance, therefore, this morning to hear directly from the administration and to put the questions citizens are asking to the man who speaks for the presidency. Sanks, welcome back.
Very good morning, Peter.
Is your Tobaski only today? You're dressed up like, you know, You are ready to go to the mosque,
No.
then go and slaughter your ram, or is it a cow you're planning on slaughtering?
No, I did rams. Yeah, you know me, we worked together in the same studio decades ago, and I think this is normal routine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, as the government voice, how do you balance defending policy decisions with acknowledging the frustrations that Gambians feel daily?
It's very easy.
Easy.
Yes, because as a government spokesperson, President Barrow, by the way, a very good morning to President Barrow and the entire nation. I'm glad to be back to.
Is he up already?
He's up at 5 every day.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, Peter. Absolutely, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in assuming power, he came to the realization that in order for a government to be effective, in the new what they used to call democratic dispensation, he also needed an interlocutor who would be talking to the Gambian people, allaying their fears where fears were imagined, clarifying issues where there were doubts, and when the truth was so naked, just to be honest and say these are the prevailing realities. For instance, I know one particular issue that comes to mind as we speak. The most trending issue right now is the problem with NAWEC.
Absolutely.
NAWEC.
I'm glad you've gone there without my prompting.
NAWEC has no policy to deliberately frustrate Gambians, to use your word frustrate. However, NAWEC is part of a composite. It's a global village. You know, sometimes they say if America coughs, the world catches cold. And America has been coughing since on the 28th of February.
Coughing and sneezing.
Sneezing, coughing, you know, choking and whatever.
Yeah.
So this is a situation that neither President Barrow nor NAWEC has control over what happens in the geopolitical theater in the Middle East. There is a war that is raging. There was a ceasefire. Ceasefire seems to have succeeded. People were hopeful about by the 15th of next month, things would be okay. And last night, you know, we have seen what has happened. You know, so the trajectory of the international order is so chaotic, Peter, that it is just difficult to sit down and try to simplify it or oversimplify it to Gambia government, you know, being lazy, being idle, being clueless. This is way, way, way beyond the Gambia government. The parameters are so global that we navigating this situation is actually what every government does now. From here to Conakry to Dakar, there is not a single government on the face of earth or in the face of earth, whichever preposition you want to use, that is not choked by these global realities. Even the European countries. You have seen the price of jet fuel, how it has just rocketed. You know, the price of air tickets has just gone, you know, through the roof. So this is the situation that I, as a spokesperson, coming back to a question, has to deal with, to mitigate the prevailing circumstances, to talk to the Gambian people, you know, and allay their fears. You know, so if people are of the belief, you know, NAWEC has a spokesperson who would do a better job than I'm doing, but then I'm speaking on behalf of the government. That to the best of my knowledge, it is not a deliberate policy by NAWEC to frustrate the Gambian people. I'm a government spokesperson. I go through the same thing you're going through at my in-laws' house in London Corner. Same neighborhood with my in-laws, you know. So it's all over. At least
it's really bad for those of us who live in London Corner.
Yeah, I know.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah. London Corner had a bigger problem when we start here 2019-20.
The water problem. Which has been solved.
Yes. And not only that, the roads also. They were terrible. Potholes.
Well, they still are.
They
still are. Just because you people have given us two roads, Janjang and Safidin, does not mean that, you know.
Janjang and Safidin are the commercial arteries of London Corner.
But particularly Safidin.
Absolutely.
I walked the whole length of the Safidin stretch one day, and I was surprised, you know, with the level of income generating activity happening along that road already.
My own daddy's compound, we have 7 shops.
You know?
Right there.
No, honestly, you know, so when people criticize, you know, the construction of roads, you know, maybe they should go along if they know what.
And beyond and above commercial activity, how about the kids going to Nusrat? If the kids going to Bunduk school, they used to go through hell in the summer, you know.
Yeah, we went through hell walking from the Fakunda to Kanifing school and
hey, look,
and back.
I walk from SEO.
Yeah,
I walk from SEO to Berending. Thanks to Adama Barrow, Hakalang Road has fixed
We're
the
still
problem.
alive, huh? Despite,
Yes.
the long treks, we're still alive. Walking doesn't kill anybody. In fact, it enhances your health.
Enhances you, energizes you, makes you healthier.
No, but still on NAWEC, a lot of people say we have of late become too dependent on producers outside this country, to the point where even the capacity we were able to generate locally, we have lost. In spite of all assurances from NAWEC. They say, go to Kotu. You don't hear a single machine hum in Kotu anymore. And Kotu was always associated with NAWEC noise.
That I have no knowledge to dwell on. I normally tend to leave stuff I'm not au fait with to be dealt with the experts who.
That's very wise.
Who know NAWEC. But what I do know, again, Gambia is not an island. We are part of a huge cosmos, the West African sub-region. For decades, since Dauda's regime, we had OMVG, Organization for the Development of the Gambia River Basin. And we all know, basic geography, that the River Gambia actually is sourced from the Fouta Djallon Highlands in the town of Labe in Conakry. And therefore, the OMVG, since it is sourced there, whatever affects the power grid in Conakry is naturally and necessarily and obviously going to affect our system here. I am not saying, you know, this is just subject to conjecture. I am not suggesting by any by any stretch of the imagination that what is happening in Conakry is impacting here. However,
well, the managing director or director general of NAWEC did confirm that there are problems in Guinea which are directly affecting us. There are also problems in Senegal. In Guinea, it's a fuel problem. In Dakar, it's a technical problem. And that is again, it brings back my point. We have become too dependent on power generated outside this country.
No, I wouldn't use dependent. I would say interdependent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think dependent is a misnomer.
Yeah.
It's a misnomer because the OMVG belongs to the Gambia, to Guinea-Conakry, to Guinea-Bissau, and Senegal.
Senegal, yes.
So to suggest that we are dependent entirely, I think is inaccurate.
But the power is being generated.
Yeah, but then it's flowing through a river.
Yeah.
If without the River Gambia, we would not have it. So we are also sourced out of that main source in Conakry.
Okay.
So we are not dependent, we are interdependent.
But there was a time when that river was still there, some electricity was being generated, but we were generating our own electricity.
That is true. There was a time.
To the point where if it went off, we knew it was a fuel crisis. Fuel arrived and we got electricity again. But now here we are.
Peter, modernity is so expensive. If you live in a village, you don't care if the power goes off or not. There is a pit latrine anybody can walk to and ease themselves. If you live in Serekunda, where we depend on flush toilets and commodes, if there is no water for 2 days, the sanitary situation is dismal. So modernity has advantages, it also has disadvantages.
So in other words, because we are exposed to electricity, we will feel the pinch when there is no electricity.
Absolutely, and because we also modernizing so many things we did yesterday, you know.
Yeah,
so as we progress, but that's just
not generating our own electricity, thanks.
I would hope and aspire to a day when you and I will wake up every day without any sporadic electricity problems. That is the hope of the president. It is the hope of every and any genuine Gambians.
So in short, if Kotu had been neglected to the point that it had fallen into a state of disrepair or whatever, I think we should seriously consider going back to getting Kotu doing what it used to do. In fact, if we can, add to the capacity we were producing the last time we were producing, all the better. Why can't we produce and sell to other countries?
Oh, those are your own words, that Kotu has been neglected and, so I don't know.
I have said, again, let me quote myself. If Kotu had fallen in, had fallen into a state, had been allowed to fall into a state of disrepair, we should go back to getting it back to, the point it last was when we were producing electricity.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And this is advice I would even give to the president, let alone Gallo Sadie, who is the, managing director of NAWEC. We should be able to have some local capacity so that whenever there's a problem in Guinea, whenever there's a problem in Senegal, we are not subjected to what we are all experiencing now.
Yeah, it's just like senior.
It's expensive to do business now.
Just like senior citizen.
Yeah.
Sir. He has his own generator when power goes off, so he has something to fall back to.
Well, we are running on generator, but
I know.
With fuel so expensive, can we sustain this? GRA would still insist at the end of the month that I pay whatever it was I was paying and all of that. Social Security would insist that I pay whatever we were paying for staff and all of that. Government would expect that we would give the money, for it to build our roads and whatever, when, we also have to be spending 5,000 a day, 10,000 a day just to stay on air.
While I agree entirely with what you are saying, the beauty of the system here is that now we have a government in place that listens, and what you're talking about is being listened to, and it is quite natural that if the situation, I hope it doesn't worsen, if it worsens progressively, as given the circumstances, the geopolitical circumstances in the Strait of Hormuz and all that, if that worsens, I'm sure the Gambia government would have mitigating, situations that it would implement.
I hope so, because in truth,
it has
for us, the electricity situation in London Corner has worsened every day.
I was here during COVID, you were here. It was so hard. The Gambia government decided to use money to be pumped into the rural areas to help, impoverished communities.
Because they had money coming from outside.
Yeah, but
everybody was giving money. Is anybody giving money for the geopolitical situation in the Gulf? I'm not aware of anybody saying.
Because the geopolitical situation is geopolitical. It's affecting everybody.
So nobody will expect that government will give money because of the situation. Let's move on.
No problem.
Over the weekend, high-profile resignation of the Chief of Defense Staff, amid all kinds of rumors about scandals here and there. As government spokesman, how do you explain this off?
Explain the resignation or the...
Whether the resignation, all the, allegations floating around?
Yeah, under our constitutional arrangement, people can sit and allege as much as they want to allege. But there is a machinery of government that operates on a three-tier, system: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Allegations have been made. The Chief of Defense Staff, the former Chief of Defense Staff, Mama Cham, Lieutenant General Cham, decided that in the face of the controversy, the wisest thing to do was to tender his resignation, which he did. And in his letter, you can see he has availed himself for any potential investigations into these allegations. The allegations are very serious allegations. And then in order to spare the institution the agony of having to go through all these, allegations and counter-allegations, he has decided to step down, or step aside, And as we speak, there is a Chief of Defense Staff pro tempore, Major General Gomez, and congratulations to him, And but this is the nature of governance, So now it depends on the system what is going to happen, whether there's going to be an inquiry or an investigation or whatever you call it, or a probe into the alleged, activities of impropriety or abuse of office, to use his own words in his resignation letter. So this is how it stands, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions are already coming in.
Yeah.
On this issue, following the resignation of the former CDS chairman, allegations against the National Security Advisor, will there be an independent and impartial investigation into the allegations? Because there is not even a word from government on the issues. Resignation alone should not bury the issues under the carpet. But so somebody expecting government to have said something. What could government say in this case?
Government has said something.
What has government said?
Government said, government announced through my office, that the Chief of Defense Staff has resigned.
Yeah, and they have accepted.
They've accepted.
That's all.
No. In the communique, the government also said the man has availed himself of any potential investigations into these allegations. You understand?
Yes.
So you look at the letter. There are so many, and then if in the press release, it also said President Barrow unreservedly accepted the resignation, totally without any hesitation. You know, so naturally, if a man that senior is resigning based on allegations, whether real or imagined, you know, I think we should respect that and then wait for what government will do. You know, his predecessor, one of his predecessors, I think, was accused of a similar thing. You know, he was asked out. He resigned. You know, and then he was investigated. It turned out that the allegations, you know, were not proven, and he was appointed ambassador to China. You know, this has happened before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how it stands. You know, the government is not an arbitrary government, Peter. The President Barrow is not judge and jury and prosecutor. All he does is to do what normal governments do. Allegations were made. Chief of Defense Staff resigns. There is a defense staff pro tempore. As he resigns, he avails himself to be investigated. So there it
now,
goes.
what the public is awaiting is the announcement that an investigation will be conducted.
This happened Friday.
Yes.
Today is
Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
Long enough for the government to make up its mind. If the government can make up its mind to accept the resignation of the CDS, already that's a lot. They could have said no, and he could have been indicted to say, well, just go stay at home while we conduct investigation.
But you know, governments, Peter, you know enough to know that governments are not magicians.
Sorry, not indicted, interdicted.
Yes, I know. Governments are not magicians.
He's no criminal yet.
Exactly.
Interdiction.
Your own words. I stay away from the words. Yes. So governments are not magicians. So they don't just act like magic. Governments are thoughtful. There are processes, very cumbersome processes. Sometimes it's very geological the way governments operate, if you want to use that term. You see, so governments have to sit down, they have to organize. If there is going to be an investigation, you have to find experts in that domain. You have to have competent, qualified citizens, people with impeccable character, because the man is asking for impartial. Yeah. And impartiality suggests.
I'm sure there are many.
I know.
Many qualified. He was not the first chief of defense staff. There are other, retired chiefs of defense staff, senior military officers who could be,
Absolutely. There are even citizens like you.
Yes, exactly. Ordinary people.
Who is a better investigator than Peter Gomez?
I'm not quite sure about that, but
Well, I'm so.
We could all, we could all be part of a,
I know.
a panel.
Yeah. So the other question regarding the security advisor, I have no idea about the security advisor.
Yeah, those are just allegations.
Okay.
Just as these were allegations, probably still are allegations, even though government has gone on to accept the resignation, which in itself, people are interpreting, differently.
The resignation. The acceptance.
That government speedily accepted the resignation.
Yeah, but what else do you expect for government to do, Peter? If allegations are fever pitch, they looming all over the horizon, that X did this, X did that, X did that. And the man came and said, look, I'm leaving this job so that you can investigate.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's fair enough, Peter.
All right. If Senegal have technical issues, the power shortages doesn't affect them, because I know every day I'm communicating with families and friends there. This is about the
NAWEC.
The NAWEC situation.
I never said Senegal has technical issues. You said, the managing director said.
Yeah.
So that question can be sent back to sender.
Yeah.
So
this is Sidiku Suno.
Our man
from Faraba Banta.
My boyhood village.
That's your boyhood village?
Where the University of the Gambia is where I used to live.
Ah, okay.
We used to have a...
Hi, Peter. Good morning. I'm Sidiko Suno from Faraba Banta. The resignation of General CDS Mohamed Cham, I'm just reading this, must not end the matter. Under the former president Yahya AJJ Jammeh, they feared Mile 2 prison. Today, they fear being disposed. During the Jammeh exposed. During the Jammeh era, many government officials and heads of department were careful because they feared the consequences of crossing the line. ultimate fear was Mile 2 prison. Suggesting that if this was under Yahya Jammeh...
He's a keen listener and contributor to the program.
Yes.
I have enormous respect for the young man. In fact, I think he had promised to come see me
really?
officially, then I left. The tragic catastrophe of trying to actually allude to Yahya Jammeh's government as a barometer, you know, of regulating government, I think is just very tragic, quite frankly. I think it's unfortunate that people would want to reference or cross-reference what happened to senior officials under Yahya Jammeh. Most people who went to Mile 2 under Yahya Jammeh went to Mile 2 not because they were bad or they did something wrong. Some people went to Mile 2 out of impunity. Some people went to Mile 2 out of just being targeted, not even by Yahya Jammeh, but by colleagues at work. You know, the nature of the Gambian. You know, these bag-mouthing, backbiting, you know, false allegations. So if you have a system, you know, that was so infested and infected with those kind of characters, obviously Mile 2 became what they call Hotel Afrique, he used to call it. You know, which is even, I think, a very serious mockery of Gambians as people. You know, so I would want to dissociate myself with any reference to Mile 2. General Cham, unfortunately, is a victim of Yahya Jammeh. He was sent to Mile 2 in 1994. And he languished at Mile 2 together with a friend, Samsidin Sarr. So that's a very tragic story, really. Yes. So I wouldn't want to think about Mile 2 in the way it happened. If somebody is going to Mile 2, let them go to Mile 2 based on established legal parameters that they were tried judiciously and they were found corrupt or guilty. Then they can go to Mile 2. Yes. But just to pick people out of allegations and throw them into Mile 2, I think is a disaster.
So we're talking about Senegal in terms of power supply, but the Senegalese president was here.
Yeah,
for a visit that many Gambians said was surprising, because usually when Senegalese presidents visit, there's a loud build-up, if you like, you know, but this one was hush-hush.
No, that's the nature of power.
What was he here for?
That's the nature of the beast of politics.
What was he here for? What was Bassirou Diomaye Faye here for?
To see his fraternal comrade, Adama Barrow.
What did they talk about?
To talk Senegambian issues, to fraternize.
Issues like what?
Issues like, you know, general, normal diplomatic balance. You know, what is good for Gambia is good for Senegal. Mutual coexistence, two people divided by history, you know, people with a shared destiny, people who are intricately interconnected, inextricably interconnected. They be bound together for eternity. Our friend O.J. Jallow used to say every Friday there is a group of Gambians that cross to Barrow to go and bring a wife from Senegal.
Really?
And there is another group that crosses from Senegal. They cross to Banjul and pick a wife and take to Senegal.
Oh, really?
So every true Gambian household has a Senegalese. There is not a single real Gambian household that doesn't have a Senegalese family or blood in them. No. From Barrow down to the last person, there is not a single Gambian, a real Gambian, who doesn't have a Senegalese relative, vice versa.
So Diomaye came to visit his brother in
Whatever he came for, he came to see his brother. He wasn't coming to see the president. He was not going to see the president of Malawi. He was going to see somebody who speaks the same Wolof, you know.
True.
Yeah, same culture, same food.
But is it true? What do you know about, Macky Sall? I mean, it had been suggested that actually Macky was in town when Bassirou Diomaye Faye was here. And some secret meeting had taken place between the three of them.
That I do not know. I do not know.
Yeah. And it had been...
Do you know?
I wouldn't have asked you if I did.
No, sometimes you know and you ask.
No.
I don't. Peter, I don't know.
Not in this case.
But I would love to meet Macky Sall.
Was Macky Sall ever in this country?
I do not know.
In the last few days,
but if he were, I would have loved to meet him.
Yeah? Why? Why would you want to meet Macky Sall?
I think Macky Sall, whether we like it or not, is central to the existence of this new Gambia. It was Macky Sall who led the movement, you know, to actually make sure that the man who won the December 2016 elections was installed as president. Absent Macky Sall's involvement, I'm not saying Barrow would not have been president, but it would have been very, very difficult. So the Gambian people owe him a great debt of gratitude. We in the diaspora, who were fighting, we knew what Macky Sall did, what Senegal did. Macky Sall is an extension of Senegal. So let me just say Senegal. And again, Joma is coming, it makes it even more important. That tells you the inextricable connection between Senegal and the Gambia. Senegal was one country that stood for us, Peter. Let us not have a very selective memory, or selective amnesia, don't they call it? Senegal played a very, very crucial role.
It's not about Gambians and Senegalese.
Yeah.
It's about State House and Palais in Dakar.
Yeah, I know.
Because there are many who believe that Adama Barrow is more beholden to Macky Sall than even, to this new government. That there is belief still.
No.
There is belief still that Pastef cannot run Senegal, and like it or not, the Macky Sall will find a way of coming back to power.
Really? That is new to me. And it's not bad to be honest and say it's new to me.
You're a spokesman of State House.
Yeah, I'm a spokesman. I was just going to say something.
Is Barrow still leaning more on his ties with Macky Sall than trying to forge, even stronger relations with the government that has replaced the Macky Sall government in Dakar?
Honestly, President Barrow is loyal to the Gambian people, the people who elected him. And whatever he can do with any government or governments to make sure that there is peace and tranquility in the Gambia and in the sub-region, he will do that. Adama Barrow was given a prize for peace, or peace prize, because of his commitment to regional peace, to whatever sub-regional peace. So the relationship between Macky Sall and President Barrow is as good as the relationship between Jomai Faye and President Barrow. They have a very good relationship. Yes, President Barrow has never shied away from hugging the new government. Macky Sall will come and go. Sadauda came and went. Yaya Jammeh has gone. So Adama Barrow will go one day. So this is how we work in politics. So you can, just because Macky Sall was your friend and it is a new guy, no, they removed him from power. No, it doesn't work like that. Because
people are looking at certain things. For instance, on Senegalese independence, Gambian soldiers, police would go and march and vice versa, and that doesn't seem to have happened since the change.
I think the card April 4th.
Yes.
I think it happens. President Barrow has been going, hasn't he?
Is he a military man? Does he march?
No,
he's a policeman. Does he march? I said
no.
Soldiers.
President Barrow is the commander-in-chief.
But he doesn't march.
Yeah, well, he marches here during independence. He would salute and march. So in that sense, yes. But Peter, to be very serious, and I'm very serious. Maybe this is just my nature. Honestly, the Gambia and Senegal continue to enjoy very, very amicable diplomatic relationship. I don't even call it diplomatic. I think these family relations. Let's lose, diplomatic is so foreign and so English, or Francophone. But then Gambia and Senegal, we are family. So Barrow is like a little brother, junior brother to Macky Sall, and then Jomai is like a junior brother to Barrow. So this is a continuum.